students. Okay, so may I request everyone to please stand for our prayer. Amen. So good morning once again, students. Okay, so you may now take your seats. Okay, so how are you today, class? Okay, so that's good to hear. So by the way, let me first introduce myself. So I am Desiree S. Balia, your teacher for today. And you can call me Teacher Desiree. So before we start to our class, I have here a classroom rules. So first is that listen quietly when others are speaking. Always treat others with respect. Be responsible and prepared. Raise your hand for permission to get up or to speak. And obey all school rules. So are we clear with our classroom rules? Okay, so now, are you ready for the new story? Okay, so but before that, let's have first a recap. So first question. So, what is the story of the last reporter presented? Okay, Ate Ayla? Okay, very good. So it's all about alamat ng anay. Okay, so the second question is, what is the moral lesson of the story? Okay, Ate Mungkal? Okay, very good. So the moral lesson of the story is that valuing the environment and helping others. So I know that all of you are knowledgeable enough about alamat ng anay. So now, let's move on to another question. So first question. So why it is important to keep our promises? Okay, so Ate Lovely? Okay, so thank you so much. So exactly, no? So keeping promises, it is not just about fulfilling a commitment. It is about building trust and strengthen our relationship with each other. So second question is, do you believe in the saying that promises are meant to be broken, and why? Okay, Ate Rosel? Okay, so thank you so much for your answer. So I know that all of you have a different answer. Some of you say yes and some of you say no. But for me naman is that promises are never meant to be broken. Though a lot of times we are broke or you are broke, but to be broke or to keep our promises, it depends on ourselves. It depends solely on your self. Okay, so much for that. Okay, so now let's move on to our activity. So are you ready for our activity? Okay, so our activity for today is called the spin the wheel. Okay, so when playing spin the wheel is that whose name will point to the arrow will be the one to answer. Okay, so are we clear? Okay, so now let's start. Okay, so spin the wheel. Stop. Okay, so Ate Ayla. So here is your question. So your question is, where can we buy fresh fish, pork, vegetables, and fruits? Okay, so exactly. So in the market. Okay, very good, Ate Ayla. So second wheel. Okay, so who's the lucky winner? So spin the wheel. So stop. Okay, Miss Ate Mia. Okay, so Ate Mia, here is your question. Okay, so a woven bag usually carried by market buyers. Okay, so what is your answer? Okay, very good. So the answer is bayong or the basket. Okay, very good, Ate Mia. So the second winner goes to, okay, spin. Stop. Okay, Ate Loren. Okay, so Ate Loren, here is your question. Okay, so what is a loyal customer called in the market? Okay, Ate Loren? Okay, so let us see if your answer is correct. Okay, so very good, Ate Loren. So next is, who's the lucky winner? So spin. Stop. Okay, so Ate Ayla again. So spin again. Stop. Okay, so Ate Lovely. Okay, so here is your question. So your question is, what is a traditional cooking device made of clay pot? Okay, so Okay, so let us see if your answer is correct. Okay, so your answer is correct. It is earthenware pot or the palayok. Okay, so who's the lucky winner? Okay, so spin. So stop. Okay, so Ate Uriel. Okay, so here is your question. So what is the seller called in the market? Okay, so Ate Uriel. Okay, so let us see if your answer is correct. Okay, so your answer is correct. It is vendor. Okay, so very good, everyone. So did you enjoy our activity? Okay, so I know that you are enjoy our activity. So now I have here another question. How do you find the activity? Okay, Ate Lovely. Okay, very good. So another question. So what is your basis upon answering those words? Okay, Ate Palma. Okay, very good. So thank you for that. Based on our activity, so what would be our story for today? Okay, so our story for today, it's all about A Day in the Market, story by May Tobias Papa, and illustrated by Isabel Rojas. So let us know who is May Tobias Papa and Isabel Rojas. So but before that, I have here a objective. So at the end of the lesson, the students are expected to identify the characters, setting, and the author of the story, value the importance of the moral lesson in the story, and critique the given story using literary approach. Okay, so now let us know who is May Tobias Papa. So this is May Tobias Papa. So May Tobias Papa is graduated at the University of the Philippines, where she taught typography, illustration, layout, and copywriting subjects. She has had an extensive creative experience both as an art director and copywriter. Her books have been published by Adarna House, Anvil, The Bookmark INC, Fire Tree Press, Lampara Books, Liwayway Marketing Corporation, and Tahanan Books. So, May Tobias Papa write this story because some events of the story, even the red pots, are inspired by the author's life. So May was 3 years old when her mother first talked to her at the market. So besides is that May thanks to her mom for teaching her, because now is that she know how to look for fresh fish, meat, and vegetables. Okay, so now let us know who is Isabel Rojas. So this is Isabel Rojas. So Isabel Rojas is a storyteller and a graphic artist. She is born in Manila, Philippines. So she has illustrated numerous books for young readers, including Our Skin, A First Conversation About Race by Megan Madison and Jessica Raleigh, a notable book in 2021, CLG Best Book 2021, and Day at the Market with May Tobias Papa in 2010. Okay, so now you already know who is May Tobias Papa and Isabel Rojas. Okay, so now let us know what is the summary of the story. Okay, so the summary of A Day in the Market is that the girl woke up and was dressed by her mother to help her to go to the market. So the mother has a colorful bag and the girl has a small yellow bag to put their shopping in. So she experienced many things in the market. The smells of meat, fish, chicken, and etc. Moved on their way, noisy sellers and buyers, and crowded inside it. But despite this, there were kind sellers who made her taste of their products and gave her fruits. After shopping, she helped her mother organize what they bought, and she saw something wrapped in a newspaper. And when she opened it, a stove pot appeared in it that she wanted to cook. And because of this, she thanked her mother for the gift she received. Okay, so that is the summary of a day in the market. Now, let us know who is the characters of the story. Okay, so the characters of the story is that the mother and the daughter. Okay, so very good everyone. So next, where is the setting of a day in the market? Okay, so the setting is in the palengke or market. Now, let us know what is the moral lesson of the story. So anyone who can give the moral lesson of the story? Okay, so Ate Hazel? Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, so the moral lesson of the story could be interpreted as the importance of gratitude, responsibility, and the value of promises. Okay, so thank you so much. So now, let's criticize the story using the literary approach. Okay, so who can give an approach that we can apply to the story? Okay, so anyone? Okay, Ate Lovely? Okay, so feminism. So thank you so much, Ate Lovely. Okay, so of course, we can use the feminism because we can see that there is a woman empowerment because we all know in the past that women have no right to go outside. Okay, so another approach. Okay, so Kuya James? Okay, so we can use the histobiographical. So thank you so much, Kuya James. Of course, we can use the histobiographical approach because like what I've said is that the story is right because some events of the story are inspired by the author's life. Okay, so another approach. Okay, so Ate Jorabel? Okay, so thank you so much. So we can also use the Marxism because we all know or we can see that there is a labeling between the vendors and the buyers. Okay, so another approach. Okay, so not. Okay, so we can also use the psychological approach in this story because it helps us to understand the dynamics between the child desire and societal influences. So the egg represents the child desire like wanting the tiny earthenware stove for fun. And then the ego here is that she balances whether she will follow her desire to buy that or she will follow her promises to her mother that not to point something. And the super ego here is that she keep her promises to her mother that not to point things or not to buy things they went even she wanted it. Okay, so I guess that would be all. So any clarification? Okay, so none? Okay, so thank you for listening, class. Okay, so goodbye, everyone. Okay, so thank you so much.